Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing for Practitioners Part 3, where we're going to learn how to excel at social media. We're going to be going through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, in particularly Facebook, and a lot of this stuff carries over, a lot of this stuff applies. I'm going to be focusing primarily on Facebook because that's where I do most of my stuff and probably the biggest bang for your buck. So we're going to take time to go through that. You'll have a pretty good idea how to navigate other things after going through Facebook. So if you haven't already watched parts 1 and 2, I encourage you to do that, and I will put the link somewhere here. I don't know. You'll see it on the replay here. But we're going to dive right into Facebook, and a lot of this stuff applies to just broad scale how to excel on social media. But I'm going to go through some of the specifics in particular with Facebook. I've done like side by side comparisons with things, what works, what doesn't, and how to get the most out of that. So a lot of this stuff is changing. Traditional marketing approaches, which we've talked about earlier, really haven't panned out for me. And if you are a business owner, especially like sole proprietorship, where you are your business, you don't have a lot to invest in a lot of these other marketing things that I found that like those really didn't pan out for me anyway. So going through some of these things will help you to navigate the social media world and to really propel your business and your brand and yourself. And so people can find you and you can connect with more of the right people. All right, so real simply, before we get into anything, is just be your authentic self. The best thing you can be, the thing that people really resonate with most, is authenticity. In the beginning, I'd try to have everything like polished, and I would hold back certain parts of me. Um, I consider myself a pretty funny guy. I like humor, but I would hold that part back because what are people going to think if I share this, or what's going to happen if someone gets offended by this thing? All right, I kind of stopped caring, and things have gotten so much easier for me, and really allowed me to connect with more of the right people. So, in that, there is some discernment. Being mindful to not put some things out there. One of my releases and one of the ways that I kind of dump my stuff off is through dark humor. I wouldn't share a lot of that stuff just because there's something like having tact, or even just like some of the political stuff that people share. You want to do stuff so that it's not like pushing people away from you like that, but just being your true self in that. So being raw, sharing these vulnerable aspects of you is probably the sexiest thing you can do on social media and to attract people, like even in real life. So people love to see a real person. The more stuff you can share about yourself, the more real you can be, the more people are going to resonate with that. Yeah, sure, a couple of people will like move away, but they're not your people anyway. Get them out of the way. Okay. Um, so other things you can do too is just not posting all about your business. That gets really old. It gets really stale. And no one's going to want to follow you if everything that you post is, oh, my next event. Oh, my next this. Oh, this is where I'm going to be at this time. Who cares? Like, really, is that really adding value to people's life? Once again, we go back to that intention. Mine is, how do I add value? I ask myself that all the time. Okay, so peppered into that, how I add value is providing opportunities for people to attend, workshops, classes, retreats, stuff like that. But then in between that is like, okay, how can I add value to your life right now? What are things that I'm learning in my life that I can share with you that may help you navigate yours? Okay, things like that. Also, letting people see you're a real person. I'll share stuff like actual human life stuff that I do with my family, or like, I don't know, just things so that people can see that you're more than just like a business, like you're an actual person, especially in this work. They need to be able to connect with you on that level. If that connection isn't there, where they don't feel like where they can connect to you as a person, it's just going to be flat. It's just going to be like, oh, here's this cold business, and here's a billboard of this business name, and you're not a real person to them. And by the time people actually meet me in person, they already feel like they know me because I'm putting the same stuff out on social media that you'd get in real life if you were hanging out with me. Okay? So authenticity is key, key, key. All right, that being said, social media, Facebook in particular, has been pivotal in me establishing myself and connecting with people around the world. It's been incredible. I actually made an account, I think, back in 2007 and like didn't look at it again until 2019. So I have this huge gap, and I was actually so against social media. But if you're doing it right, if you are not getting sucked into it and just using it for the tool that it is, it can be incredible for connecting you with the right people. It can be useful in your own learning and growing, and also to promote your business. And we're going to go through some of the ways that you can do that. All right, so now I should state that there are different versions of Facebook. There's the Facebook app, and then there's Facebook on your computer. And you're going to want to have both of those things for different reasons. Each of them allow you to do different things that the others don't. So, just off the top of my head, when I'm sharing an event, um, and you might not, this may have changed, but sharing an event as a story, you can only do in the app. Whereas if I wanted to invite people to an event, I would have to go through each one manually, and you're limited at 50 people in the Facebook app. Whereas when I open up my computer and invite people, with a click of a button, I can invite 500 people at a time. Way more efficient. So you're going to want to use both those to do different things. And you'll see this, especially as we get into some of the things that you can do for your business and stuff like that. So you're going to want to have both those and learning kind of what different things you can do with each thing. All right, so now a little bit about profiles and business pages. So in order to have a business page, you do have to have a profile associated with that. So you just first have to have your own personal profile, and from that you can create a business page. You can't just make a business page on your own. Okay? The way that business pages work is you can also pay to run additional ads. So more people will see your content, and for a pretty low investment, I mean, it's not really a bad deal. I haven't found a lot of benefit in it. At this point, at least with some of the work that I do, but that is probably where I would start, because that's a pretty inexpensive way to get more publicity, to get seen more, and to attract the right people to your business. So pretty low investment. You can invest as much or as little as you want, which I really like about that. And you can do it for certain events. You know, you can just boost an event for a pretty nominal fee. Yeah, you can't do that with a personal page, but the downside to that is the way that business pages work in the beginning. They really Facebook's likes to promote you a lot, get you going, and then once you get to a point, they want you to pay for their services. Obviously, okay, they're a business too. Okay, so it gets to this point where like it feels like maybe things start to slow down or taper off, and that's because the way Facebook is designed, it wants you to pay for their ads and pay for their services to boost you and grow you more. One of the ways that you can circumvent that is by using your profile page also as your business page. So you are going to want to be bold with stuff. Don't like hide stuff off your personal page. Use that personal profile to share your business. And if you're passionate about what you do and really in line with your business, you're going to be doing that anyway. If you're worried about, oh, what is my family going to think because of what I'm posting or what I'm sharing here, you should probably address that. Otherwise, that's going to be getting in the way of everything. So, using your profile is a really good way to kind of piggyback on what you already have for your business, but then also extend that sharing and extend that range to different people. With your Okay, when you have a business page and a profile page, you're going to be given the option to share in both places. It says, hey, you want to share this to your business page, you can share them both at the same time. I usually discourage that unless it's a big event, and I usually change the post up a little bit so they're not identical, because otherwise one is really going to get hammered and the other one's like not really going to get seen. So create two similar posts but not identical posts on your business and profile page, or one or the other. That's what I suggest. All right, a little bit about different profiles. So one of the options that they have now is that you can be a digital creator, and there are some benefits to that. You can make money as a digital creator. When you do that, you won't have like friends per se. It'll list them as followers, so it'll look like you have like more followers, but it's really a combination of your friends and followers. Personally, I've run into issues with it. They may have resolved, but I found that I wasn't getting certain messages. Like people would send me messages on Messenger and I wasn't receiving them. And there was like, or I'd get them like three different times and there was just a bunch of glitches that way. So I actually just went back to having a regular profile. One of the downsides to having a regular profile is you are capped at 5,000 friends. And you probably don't want more than that anyway, because I don't think there's too many people that have 5,000 people that are seriously engaged. So it's actually streaming that down and really not collecting friends because it's actually hurting you. I have two profiles, and I have one that has like about 2,000 followers and another one that has like, I don't know, 4,500. The one with 2,000, because it's active, people are engaged and they're all active accounts. I started it fairly recently. That one gets way more traction than the one that I've had for years. Okay, so I'm in the process of kind of thinning stuff out, and they actually have a new feature now in Facebook where you go to your friends and you can click on manage friends and then least interacted with, and people that you haven't interacted with in like 90 days or longer will show up on there, and you can kind of sort stuff out that way. So if there's no interaction, clear them out. If they really want to be friends, they can join you again. Hey, but not clinging to some of those old people just because you went to high school with them 30 years ago. All right, so this will really help the algorithm really boost your posts and really get you that traction you're looking for. Because the way the algorithm works is like it sees a bunch of people that are engaged. Like it's looking at the percentage of people you have, how much engagement you have, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But it's way better to have fewer people than just collecting friends just so it looks like you have more people. And I'm guilty of this too. Like I got really focused on the numbers, like, oh, I need more subs, I need more this. But really, at the end of the day, quality over quantity. That's what you're looking for. Otherwise, it's going to hurt you. All right. Speaking of a backup profile, I created a backup profile because of some crap that was going on with Facebook's AI. They started flagging all these posts from years ago, and all of a sudden I was getting banned and restricted for something that was out there for like 3 or 4 years. And it's just crazy some of the stuff that they find. You can't really fight any of this stuff. So I think it's only a matter of time before my account that I've had for what 15 plus years is down. So I kind of preemptively am already preparing for that. Okay, that's why I created this other account. Not really a bad idea to create another account so that you have a place to go, when the other one crashes or when it's restricted. Or I've talked to other friends and all of a sudden just one day their account's suspended. You can't get in anything and they're just out of luck. So it's something you might want to think about. Okay, with we talked a little bit about monetization. With a digital creator and a business account, you are eligible for monetization. I think I make about $2 a month. Hey, something, but the more you post, the bigger you get. I mean, it can actually turn into a decent stream of revenue for you as well, other than just, sharing, adding value. I didn't actually know that was a thing. I was just doing stuff and like, hey, they said you're eligible for monetization. I'm like, hey, why not? And so, yeah, that can be an added revenue stream, as you continue to grow on this. All right, a little bit about ways of posting. Okay, so these are huge. I've done a lot of side-by-side comparisons, identical posts, and like compared what gets traction, what doesn't. We all love to help our friends. It's really cool. Like, hey, I'm going to share this. Doesn't get seen. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. If you copy their text, copy their image, share it, and post it as an original post on your post. I've done side-by-side comparisons, and for the exact same post, it's about 25 to 30 times more people actually see it. So that's huge. Like knowing that is huge. All right. Putting a link in a post doesn't get seen as much. So Facebook does not like to pull traffic away from itself. So any external link is going to knock it down. So there are some ways you can get around that. And we'll talk about a couple of those, some sneaky ways, but you can, and really Facebook's onto this one too, but you can post the link in the comments. That's one of the things that you can do, but yeah, they really don't like when it pulls it away from Facebook. So if I want to do like a YouTube video, let's say, and I put the YouTube video in there, if it's on my timeline or if it's on my profile, it's not going to get seen as much, unfortunately. But we'll talk about some ways around that in a little bit. All right. As far as over posting, I usually try to limit my posts to like one a day, maybe two a day. Any more than that, and it starts getting diluted. If you're one of those people that's posting like 20 posts a day, no one's going to see stuff. People are going to get sick of your stuff. Okay, so really be clear, concise with what you want to share, and really be selective in what you're sharing, because otherwise it just gets watered down and people get sick of it. So um, I'd say, yeah, probably about one a day is kind of a pretty gold standard to doing stuff. If you do have a business account, one of the added bonuses is that you can schedule posts. So you can do a whole month of posts in one day and schedule them to go out at certain times, and more people will see stuff that way. I just started doing that because I kind of got busy or bogged down with stuff. So I'm just trying stuff out to see if consistency is better, or how to really work stuff. People will tell you all different things. Oh, don't post at this time. Make sure you post at this time. And like, you can get really lost in all of that. I tell people, strike while the iron's hot. If you're really feeling a post, you're feeling really energetic, really driven, really passionate about something, get it out right now. Hit post and go. Okay, that's going to carry a lot more weight because you're in that vibration of whatever you wanted to share. And that's going to come through in your post, rather than, oh, I'm going to wait till 6 o'clock and then post it, and you lost your steam, you lost your excitement, and it gets kind of bleh. Okay. All right. So the way to post, how to post, what to post, all huge. Okay. As far as getting kind of boosting yourself in the algorithm, one of the ways that you can do it is by getting people engaged. Okay, so one of the things that I'll do, sometimes I'll post something funny, but it'll also be like something useful that people can benefit from, a little nugget of wisdom, but then also a prompt. What do you do for this? What do you think about this topic? And I even do this for myself. I posted a thing about twin flames. It showed two mannequins in a dumpster, and it said, "Oh, look, twin flames." And then I just asked, like, "Hey, what are your thoughts about this concept of twin flames?" Because I've heard so many different things, and I really, because I hear other people tell me about twin flames when they come to see me or when we're working together, I really wanted to have a better understanding of what that meant for people. So I threw out the question there. It got tons of engagement. I learned a lot in the process, and it was a win-win for everyone. So something like that is something you can do to really establish this community. What you're doing, you're creating this community. We've talked about this in the other videos, but it's not just, oh, I want to post this, or I want to do this. No, you're creating this community. You're having these discussions. You're learning and growing together. It has to be juicy, okay? Not just a bunch of random posts like, oh, here's a picture of my dog. Oh, okay, neat. Like, it has to be something engaging. Okay. Another way that you can kind of boost engagement. So things are weighted differently in the Facebook algorithm. So clicking a like on someone's post does not carry the same weight as clicking something else. So it could be like the care thing or a heart thing. That's going to carry a lot more weight than a post that is just like. That's not going to be as, it's not going to be jumped up as much or weighted as much as the hearts, because it takes slightly more time to select that. And one of the other things that I like to do too is also respond to people's comments. Even like the off-color ones are the ones that are like, well, that's not how quantum physics works. Yeah, sometimes I get sucked in, but the big thing is, yeah, responding to those, showing that you're engaged, and you people just kind of fall away if they just leave a comment and there's no response. Okay, so it doesn't always have to be anything huge, but just acknowledging like, oh, hey, this person took the time to comment. Awesome. You could even do like, sometimes I'll just do an emoji like, oh, like a heart or something, or thank you, just in response to what they share, what they post. Okay. And then Facebook recognizes that, oh, this person is responding, they're engaging, they're responding to these comments, and it does take a lot of time, but you're also growing this, and Facebook is more likely to put your stuff out there ahead of other people's. All right, moving on to like stories. So this is another way to post. It's keeping up with the times too. So certain things will land differently. Reels are a good way to go because they don't go away. So reels are kind of like stories, and we'll talk about the differences here. So stories are what appear at the top of the screen, and they last for 24 hours. Nice thing is everyone's kind of forced to see them. And I like to use this for events. So instead of posting an event on my timeline, which like one or two people will see, I'll share it as a story, and all of a sudden 200 people had to look at that because you're kind of forced to see whatever. All right, that's really cool. It's a really nice way to post an event or share an event or get word out for an event. The downside is it only lasts for 24 hours and then goes away. But you can post the same thing again if you really want to push stuff out there. So you get a solid number of views, people get to see it. You can also put music along with that, add some different dynamic features to your posts. So pretty cool. Reels, on the other hand, don't they last for? I think you can make them last for 30 days, or you can make them to not delete at all. And so with that, you're allowed to have longer content. It doesn't go away, and people like to see that kind of like live action in that video. So kind of a better option than just posting a video in your timeline. Okay. All right, live videos are awesome. Facebook loves live videos. You can have the crappiest live video and hundreds of people are going to see it. So live videos are one of the ways to go. The downside is it's live. If you screw up, you screw up, but that's okay. People expect that, and people actually like to see that. People love to watch you screw up. And it screw up in your mind, but it brings you down to their level. It's not this polished, finished thing. You're just getting the raw person. And I think that is huge, especially with the advent of AI and all this fake stuff that's out there. They're getting the real deal, and people like to see that. Facebook also likes to boost your live videos, and they even put they now do this. They actually put a clip of it in your story, so people will also see like, hey, this person was live, and they can click on that. So you get that additional boost from Facebook. Another thing that I would do with live videos when I first started, I would download my live video, put it on YouTube. So I wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel because I already did it. I did it live on Facebook. The downside is when you're streaming, there's a lower video resolution, but when you're just starting out and you're just looking for like quality of content anyway, that's going to carry more than it makes you like spending $1,000 on a camera and getting all this stuff set up and making a crappy video. Okay. So, especially if you're like really strapped for time, you only have to do the video once, put it out there, and just let it ride. Okay. All right. Anything else with that? I think that's pretty much it. All right. Now moving on. Facebook groups. Facebook groups have been awesome for me. I've met so many amazing people. I've connected with so many people that we've been able to share and grow with. So find some groups that resonate with you. Not every group's going to be for you. And I'll like follow people's invites if they'll invite me to a group. I've also searched for a group by like kind of topic, and you'll know real quick if a group's for you. I'll kind of scan through their posts. So I'm looking for active engagement. Okay, when I scan a group, when I do kind of like a trial run, look for what's going on. I look for the type of post that they're doing. If they haven't posted in 3 months in the group, yep, sorry, I'm out. Okay. There are groups that only the admin can post, and you'll see like 2 months of posts and it's only the admin. No thanks. Okay. I also let groups weed me out. So they all have like a lot of the same rules. It says like no self promotion or spam, but like I will share like a helpful video and they're like, oh, that's a promotion. Yep, I don't want to be part of that. Sorry. So if I get like declined by that or kicked out by the group, I'm not attached to it anyway. Just know that that wasn't for me. So I'm looking for these ones that are engaging, a lot of good dialogue, a lot of good community, a lot of good connection, and that's where I like to share my stuff. Okay. As far as groups, sharing a link, depending on the group rules and blah, 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 sharing a link in those groups, usually, I mean, people see that too, versus, how you're knocked down in a profile post. A link in a group is a lot more beneficial because some people just go to the group and kind of scan through different posts and they'll see your thing regardless. So it's not as big of a ding to have a link in a post as it is for your profile page. You are allowed, sometimes I share to a page or share to a group, or sometimes I'll actually just post original content. I'll just copy and paste to a group, especially if there's links and stuff in it. Seems to like go a little bit better. You're only allowed, I think it's about 75 posts before it starts flagging them as spam. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. And then moving on to some of the Facebook events. We talked about this already. Facebook events are a great way to get all the information out about an event. It kind of puts it on the calendar. Facebook, I think personally, Facebook events are kind of hard to search. I had trouble finding even some of the events that I've created, but they are a way for people to find stuff. You can also invite people to the group so people will kind of see that when you invite them. Um, in addition to just creating an event, I also like to create a graphic. So I'll create a graphic. I like to use Canva. You'll hear me talk about Canva later on. Canva is a free online graphic design program where you can make flyers and everything super, super easy. Okay, it keeps all your projects on hand so you can modify things. It's pretty invaluable for doing this work. And it doesn't take that long to make a flyer for an event. And you can put your pictures on there. You can bring in other all cool backgrounds and everything like that. You can even make videos and stuff and little clips um, of graphics for events if you want to get really like techie. But real basically, I usually like to use a format that's like Instagram format. So I think it's like 1080 by 1080, basically a square layout, because I can use that both in Instagram and in Facebook. Okay, and if you use a different size format, a lot of times when you transfer it into Instagram, the sides are cut off or information's cut off, or if you have to make it smaller. So I just stick to an Instagram format. That way I can use it for both. It also makes it nice for sharing it into stories. So it's kind of a win-win. There are ways if you wanted to get techie that where you can make things for social media. They'll make like an Instagram post, they'll make a Facebook post, they'll make different formats and layouts for you. But I'm kind of lazy and you should just make one. Seems to work, gets the information out there. It doesn't have to be all fancy and techy. Okay. With that graphic, I can apply that to, like I said, a Facebook story. I can put that in groups. I can put that in my profile. I can share it to people. Like, be like, hey, do you have the information for that group? Boom, here you go. Here's the flyer with all the information on it. Okay. I also tried to use like the registration link and stuff like that. Things that would get docked normally if they were just in text in a Facebook profile post. But if they're in the graphic, then like people kind of have to see them, and it's all in one place. As a bonus, for events, I like to do a reel, and along with it, so maybe a 20-second clip. Hey, I got this coming up. You should check this out. Whatever. Um, Also, if it's a really big event, so like some of the retreats I'll do to like boost some hype, I will do a live video. People can ask questions about the event coming up. It's a good way to get your event out there, get noticed, and create some buzz for your event. Yeah. I did talk about this too, posting event on your timeline versus a story. A story everyone's got to see. That's kind of the way to go. People can still click on that, still a clickable link, which is awesome, and then go right to the event. Okay, you can also tag your event. We talked about using the graphic for your event. You can tag an event that you've created as part of a post or as part of anything else that you share. All right. We did talk about this already, but just to reiterate, you can invite 500 people at a time on the computer. So that's how you're going to want to invite people to this. You know what? You can have the best event in the world, but if you don't invite anyone, if you don't promote it well enough, no one's going to see it. No one's going to come to it. Okay? It's real easy to get bogged down and create more events, more events, and more events. Take the time to promote them. Okay? You can even take this a step further. Not even just inviting people. Ask your friends. Hey, we got this event coming up. It's kind of short notice. You think you could blast this out for me? And I just did that today. Someone reached out to me. Hey, I got this coming up. It's on Friday, and it was short notice. But do you mind promoting it? Heck yeah. Okay. That's kind of the next level stuff, and that goes back to what we talked about earlier about creating that community and having those people where you can reach out like this and kind of working together with each other. All right. One last thing about Facebook, and then we're going to dive into Instagram, is with Messenger. Okay, most of the people that come to see me for one-on-one help It never starts out that way. They'll contact me, hey, I got this problem with this. And I just genuinely want to help people. So, right back to that initial intention, people can feel that. I stay true to that. And then a couple of sentences down, all of a sudden they're like, I really think I should come see you. Okay, it doesn't start out that way. I'll even have other people that do the same work I do. They'll ask me about their clients, and they're like, well, while we're talking, I've been wanting to schedule something with you. Okay. Like, it usually doesn't start there. So you can't just answer the ones that are like, hey, I want to book an appointment. Yeah, sure, you'll get those, but the majority of people that I get don't start out that way. So take the time, get back to everyone. I usually get like 24 hours is a good window in order to get back people. You don't have to get back to them in 5 minutes. Don't let this consume your life. But there is something about being reasonable and getting back to them in a decent time frame. I've had a lot of people that will contact me and they'll tell me, "You're the fifth person I contacted. No one's contacted me back in a week from all the people I've reached out to, and you're the first one that answered." Really, it's not that hard, people. Okay, so just being mindful of that. All right, moving on to Instagram. Thanks, you guys. I know it's a lot of information. It's not gonna be too much more. Moving on to Instagram. Instagram is nice. It plays well with Facebook. Uh, like, I think you can do it on the computer, but almost all the stuff I do right on the phone. It hasn't panned out the way that Facebook has, as far as making connections and really boosting and promoting my business and events and stuff like that. But it's another avenue. There's a bunch of people that are on Instagram that aren't on Facebook, and certain people will see stuff that won't on Facebook. So you can cross post to Facebook and Instagram just by clicking a button or moving a slider, a toggle, and it'll automatically post to both locations, which is really nice. But the downside of Instagram, that I find at least, when you post something, you can't put a clickable link in there. So people like stuff easy, stuff that's they can just click on. You can't really do that on Instagram, except in this one instance. I'm going to share this with you, a little sneaky trick. All right, so if you create a story in Instagram, you can put in a clickable link. So there's an option where you can put in a link, you can put the URL, you can put what kind of text you want to show for that URL, and it'll show that there's a link there. Okay, the nice thing about that is you can cross post that back to Facebook, and now all of a sudden you have a clickable link in your story for any external link. You can't do that directly in Facebook any way that I know of, but when you do it through Instagram, now let's say I put out a video that I want people to click on, or I want an event that for them to click on, or something on my website. Okay, I can put that website link address into a story in Instagram, share to Facebook, boom. Now that story is in both places, and there's a clickable link in both that people can access that directly. So pretty cool. I will mention this, kind of slipped my mind with talking about tags. So in Instagram and Facebook, you can tag people, which is really beneficial for other people to have that visibility, but then also for them to share it themselves. Some of the things that get overused in Facebook, they're great, but there are certain tags that I don't know, I kind of get annoyed by when people overuse them, but they are beneficial if you really want people to see something. All right, if you are just a profile page or a business page, you can use the tags @followers and @highlight. Now you can either use these in the comment section, or you can use these in the original post. And certain followers and certain friends and stuff will be shown that or given that notification. Not everyone gets that, but it'll share it with more people. Another one that gets overused, you can use in a group, and it's the tag @everyone. Okay. I think you're limited to using this 3 times a week, and I go back and forth because, like, I get really annoyed when um, I get a notification that says, "Oh, this person tagged you and other people in this post," and I click on it, it's @everyone. But I also remember who those people are, so it must be working on some level. But I would say use it sparingly, otherwise you're just going to piss people off, and you kind of don't want to do that. But if you have a big event coming up and you really want people to see it, boom, there you go. And I don't know if you need to be an admin to use the @everyone in a group. I thinking that is true, but don't quote me on that. All right, moving on. So that covers Facebook, covers Instagram. Now moving on to TikTok, and this is kind of a touchy subject because of all the stuff going on. But just real briefly, I haven't noticed a lot of benefits from TikTok. You know, with the business I do, maybe some of you do, depending on the type of work that you do. But TikTok has helped me. So TikTok has helped me to get clear, get to the point. TikTok's like the crack of social media. So if people aren't interested in you in the first 1 second, you're gone. Okay, so how do you be engaging? How do you catch people right away? How do you be clear, concise with your information? So TikTok has helped me to grow as a person. So for me, it's been this invaluable experience. But as far as it translating into actual clients, as far as like people coming to see me or people joining classes, could probably take it or leave it. Couple of things about TikTok, some little caveats in TikTok. If you film a video directly in TikTok, it's going to get more views than if you upload your own video that was created ahead of time. Um, TikTok creates a watermark on videos created in TikTok. So when you cross post those to, like, let's say Instagram, it gets knocked down because it recognizes it's already shared on TikTok. So you can either make a separate video, or there are programs that you can actually use to remove that watermark on TikTok. Above my pay grade, I usually don't do that. You just make another video. But just know that that's kind of how that works there. I'm pretty lazy. I wouldn't say lazy, efficient, let's say that. I'm pretty efficient, so I'll actually use the same video for Facebook, for Instagram, for TikTok, for YouTube Shorts. And I can do it all from one video. It's going to get a lot of exposure. And then I just kind of like let that one video soak. Sometimes I'll do it at different times. So I'll kind of stagger the posting of those so that people aren't bombarded. But you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You make one video and you can do it across all these other areas. Um, Thank you so much for joining me in this. I'd love to hear your comments, all your tips, things that you've learned, because like I said, we're creating this community. I'm learning and growing with you. So the more stuff that I can learn, the more I can share with other people. So what works for you? What did you find helpful in this video? And yeah, look forward to seeing you on the next video. All right. Thank you for joining me and have a good night.